Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Smells Like. I'm Josh. So good to see you. And this is the channel where I talk about the smells I like and what they smell like. Today I am doing my top 10 favorite summer fragrances, designer fragrances that I've been enjoying wearing this summer. So let's get into the list. The first fragrance I want to talk about is actually an honorable mention, mainly because this fragrance has become extremely common and a little bit played out, to be honest. But it definitely was a trendsetter, probably the biggest trend in men's designer fragrances that is going on today, and the one that started that trend of ambroxan and freshness with a little bit of sweetness. You know it, I know it. It's Dior Sauvage. Didn't make the list, but I do still enjoy wearing this fragrance from time to time, but just becomes such a common fragrance, I can't quite put it in the list. At number 10, from Calvin Klein, we have CK2. CK2 has notes of wasabi, mandarin, violet leaf, and wet cobblestone and concrete accord. This fragrance basically smells like wet rocks or wet cement. It smells like being at the pool. This is the perfect poolside fragrance. It literally smells like the wet concrete drying in the sun. And at the price that this can be had, a great value, this one really is a no-brainer for summer days, especially poolside for me. At number 9, and I just have a little miniature of this right now. I've got the big boy on the way actually as we speak. This one is St. Bart's from the Set Sail series by Tommy Bahama. St. Bart's includes notes of lime, salt, sea notes, and musk. And to me, this just smells like a fizzy, sparkling water with lots of fresh lime while sitting on the beach. A lot of people describe this fragrance as smelling a little bit like tequila or like a margarita, and I kind of get that. To me, it smells a little bit like the margarita mix. I don't get much of the tequila smell from this. Agave is actually one of the listed notes, and that's actually the main ingredient that tequila is made from. And I do get sort of a fresh, herbal thing from this, sort of a fresh green smell mixed with an ocean accord, some musk, and especially the star of this fragrance, which is that lime. Really the lime and the musk are the stars of this fragrance. Definitely a beachy vibe. Great fragrance for the beach, and again, a super great value. You can spray as much of this as you want, and that's why I went ahead and opted to get the full-size bottle of this just to spray liberally for my time at the beach. At number 8, this is a classic men's fresh fragrance and one that is very well known. One of the best-selling men's fragrances to date. It comes to us from Versace, and it is Versace Man Eau Fraiche. Man Eau Fraiche has notes of citrus, starfruit, woods, and musk. The starfruit note in this is what really makes this unique. However, there are a lot of other designer fragrances that do a similar kind of thing. This has been compared to actually the women's fragrance, Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue. It's also, for me, smells a great deal like Mont Blanc Starwalker. This can be had, again, at great prices from some of the online discounters, and I highly recommend this. Another great daytime summer fragrance. I even put a little bit of this into a decant that I keep in the refrigerator, and whenever I come in from the heat, I love to spray this on liberally. It is such a cooling, refreshing, ethereal, light, transparent fragrance, and I enjoy this for the high heat when it's almost too hot to wear a fragrance. Versace Man Fresh is a great choice. Next, we have one of my favorite fragrances that I start busting out really heavily in the springtime, but this also gets quite a bit of wear for me in the summer, and this one is a gem from the house of Dunhill. This is the original Dunhill Icon. Dunhill Icon has notes of neroli, bergamot, pepper, and vetiver. This also has a great musk note in it. It reminds me a little bit of neroli portofino. The musk note in the dry down actually reminds me of the musk note in neroli portofino forte by Tom Ford. Definitely a more affordable version of that type of scent. This also has vetiver in it, so it's not exactly like the fragrances like Neroli Portofino, just has a little bit of that vibe. This also shares some similarities with fragrances like Terre de Hermes. The vetiver in this fragrance mixed with the citruses, the woods, the musk, and a little bit of that neroli vibe makes this a really sophisticated light fragrance that I really enjoy wearing. Next, we have one of my favorite soapy fragrances of all time. From Prada, it's Infusion Dome. Now, unfortunately, this fragrance has been discontinued. It can still be found at reasonable prices online, however, and there is a new iteration of this fragrance in Prada's high-end line, exclusive line. I believe they've changed the name. This might be now called Infusion d'Iris or possibly something else. I'm not sure. I think Infusion d'Iris is their new iteration of this, and if not, that fragrance is at least similar to this. This takes Prada's super soapy, creamy, floral, slightly powdery iris and adds some more masculine notes like vetiver, cedar, benzoin, which is sort of a vanillic note, as well as a little bit of incense, and really makes for a great rounded, super soapy fragrance. This just smells like the most luxurious soap. I especially enjoy this when I've maybe gotten out of the shower and I'm just gonna have a nice relaxing night at home. This really does the trick for that. One of my favorite soapy fragrances, that's Infusion Dome by Prada at number 6. I'm just gonna spread these out a little bit as we come to the top 5 of my top 10 summer fragrances. Coming in at number 5, this has really become a popular fragrance DNA. There are a number of versions of this fragrance that come in different types of bottles and under different names that all are the same scent from Jean-Paul Gaultier. This is the super playful, slightly minty, bubblegum, fresh, sweet Le Mail Eau Fraiche. This is the Popeye version. There is also at this point the Superman version. It's the same fragrance, just in a different bottle. Notes for this fragrance are mint, vanilla, tonka, and sage. Plus this has a lot of aldehydes, which give it this sort of sparkly, airy, like clean white linens. And really this kind of smells like mint, a little bit of a bubblegum vibe mixed with a clean linen accord. This is a super fun fragrance to wear. Great just for relaxed summer days. I think it could work for summer nights too, depending what you're doing. Just for informal, hanging around type of vibes. Really fun fragrance to wear from Jean-Paul Gaultier. This next fragrance takes things up a little bit in terms of being high class. This comes to us from Hermes, and it is from the Jardin line. This is Un Jardin sur le Nil. In my opinion, a masterpiece by former in-house perfumer to Hermes, Jean-Claude Ellena. This is my favorite from the Jardin line. Notes include mango, tomato leaf, grapefruit, and lotus. This is a very unique fragrance while also being super wearable in my opinion. And I really enjoy this on summer nights when maybe I'm wearing a collared shirt, maybe could be like a linen shirt or a white collared shirt, and maybe going out for dinner. Nothing too fancy, but when I want to feel a little bit upscale, maybe at night for going out with friends, again, to a nice restaurant, wearing a little bit of an elevated dress, nothing too fancy here. This also has aspects of incense, some green notes. The lotus gives it this really fresh, watery feeling, and this really smells like what it intended to smell like, which is a garden by the River Nile. It really pulls that off, and I've even read about in the creation of this fragrance, the perfumer Jean-Claude Elena even traveled and spent time in gardens near the Nile River, in the Nile River Valley, smelling all the different ingredients and even sourcing some of the ingredients from that area of the world to create this very experiential perfume that I just adore. At number 3, this was a big hype this year actually in the fragrance community, from Jean Varvatos. It's Artisan Pure. Notes for Artisan Pure are mandarin, petitgrain, which is similar to neroli, kind of a soapy white floral, some herbal notes, and some musks. Now, like the Dunhill Icon, this takes that neroli portofino, soapy white floral and citrus with musk, and goes another different direction with it. The petitgrain in this smells similar to neroli. Neroli is not really listed as a note, but it may even have that too. I believe petitgrain and neroli come from the same plant. It just is a difference in how the fragrance is extracted. There goes my dog in the background. Hey, buddy. Hey, boo-boo. Want to smell some perfume? Want to look at some perfumes? Okay. Say hi. This really does smell like high-end niche fragrances like Neroli Portofino. It reminds me a little bit of Neo from Xerjoff, another high-end Neroli and citrus based fragrance. And at this point, you can actually get this at a really affordable price, and to my nose, these are really high quality ingredients. Some have even said that this is niche-like in its quality and smell. Really enjoyable fragrance and surprisingly good fragrance in terms of its longevity and performance from Jean Varvatos. This one has been a real pleasure to wear all summer so far for me. I like wearing this with just jeans and a white t-shirt. It wears well for casual as well as slightly dressed up occasions. Just a really versatile, high quality fragrance, Artisan Pure at number 3. Coming in at number 2, I have been wearing this fragrance a lot. I actually swim pretty often for exercise and love just hanging out at the pool. And this is a fragrance that on super hot sunny days, after coming out of a refreshing swim and having, a cleansing shower, I so enjoy wearing this. It makes me feel like I've just come out of the most beautiful, cool blue waters, maybe off the coast of the Mediterranean instead of, in a pool in central Indiana. And that fragrance is Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Intense. This didn't get a whole lot of love in the fragrance community. It is just a flanker to the original classic Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue, which still is great on its own accord. This takes that fragrance and amps up the citrus a little bit, amps up the intensity a little bit, tones down some of the bitterness that is in the opening of the original light blue, which I also enjoy. This is just a little bit of a different take, a very mellow aquatic fragrance with some herbal nuances. Notes for this fragrance include grapefruit and a sea salty marine accord. Like I said, this just smells like swimming in a cool blue ocean, blinking in the sun, clear blue sky, on the most beautiful summer day. So refreshing and exhilarating, but also kind of classy and, to me, really sexy. Really love this fragrance. At number 2, it's Light Blue Intense by Dolce & Gabbana. So we've come all the way to my number 1 fragrance, designer fragrance for the summer. This one has gotten a ton of acclaim over the last few years in the fragrance community. This is my pick from the House of Chanel in this list, and it is none other than Allure Homme Edition Blanche. Now, what can I say about this fragrance that hasn't been said? I'm not gonna say that this is the, lemon meringue pie of the fragrance game or whatever. To me, I don't know where that started. I think somebody said it smelled like lemon pie and that just caught on, and it seems like everybody that talks about this fragrance just says the same thing, that it smells like a lemon meringue pie. To me, I don't get that. I get why people maybe are saying that, but this is a very bright, aldehydic lemon and a little bit of a creamy sandalwood, a little bit of a creamy sweetness from vanilla. Well, let's see. Notes for this fragrance include lemon, pink pepper, vanilla, and sandalwood. The pink pepper in this really gives it a bright, fizzy nature to where it's really sparkling. The lemon and the pink pepper give it this sparkling nature that Chanel does so masterfully. That ethereal, aldehydic Chanel thing. This to me smells like sunshine. It does have a little bit of a creaminess from the sandalwood, a touch of sweetness from the vanilla, but to me, this is more bright, more bracing, and more sparkling than I've maybe heard other people describe it as. Much more sparkling and bright and zesty than a gourmandish aspect of like a lemon meringue pie. I don't really get a gourmand vibe from this at all. But like I said, this just smells like sunshine to me. I love wearing this any old time at all. It dresses up nicely the same way that, say, Un Jardin sur le Nil or Artisan Pure dress up a little bit. You can wear them for any activity at all, just hanging out, but then also if you want to dress them up a little bit, these 3 fragrances really work for that as well. Very versatile fragrance. One of my favorite fragrances of all time, if I do a top 10 fragrances of all time designer list, you're definitely going to see this near the top of that list. Real legend here from Chanel, Edition Blanche. And so that is my top 10 designer list. This is the first time I've done a list like this, so it was a little clunky here and there. I really take my hat off to some of the pros who do these reviews and lists and do it so effortlessly. My respect to all the great fragrance reviews. I'm just doing this for fun. And I really enjoyed it, so hopefully you did too. Let me know, do you have any thoughts on any of these fragrances? Do you think that Sauvage is still worthy of acclaim at this point? Do you think maybe some of these have been played out to the point that maybe we need to give some attention to some other fragrances? Some of these have really gotten a lot of attention in recent time. I'm looking at the Jean Paul Gaultier of Fresh. I'm looking at Man of Fresh. Dunhill Icon. We've heard a lot about these fragrances. Do you have some alternatives that you have enjoyed this summer? Let me know in the comments below. Please don't forget to subscribe so you can see more videos, because I would love to do this again sometime. So I think that's it for me from the Smells Like channel. I'm Josh. See you next time. Bye.